Howdy folks. Today we got another edition of Let Me Fix That For You. Today's drink comes from Steven Pervez. It has not got a name yet, but I think we might come up with something by the end of this. Why not? The drink is 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of amaro Nonino, 1/2 ounce of banana liqueur, 1/4 ounce of date syrup, and an egg white. Okay, so a couple of unusual things about this drink. One is it has an egg white, but it is not a sour. No citrus, but yes, egg white. That's a little unusual. There are some drinks out there that use an egg white that aren't sours. I'm sure it's going to add a nice texture to it, but it is a little out of the ordinary. So another kind of strange thing is it's got 3 sweeteners. It's got Nonino, which is an amaro, but it's kind of one of the more sweeter ones. It's got a banana liqueur, which is sweet, and date syrup, which is, a sweetener, a syrup. It doesn't really get used a lot in cocktails, but, I don't see why not. It is something that you can get at the store. I can get it at my local grocery store, but I also saw some videos on YouTube on how to make date syrup, so I couldn't help myself. I went ahead and I made it. Check this out. Alright, here we go. It's got a beautiful foam, a nice nutmeg on top. It smells, you get a bit of that nutmeg, but it really has the bourbon's really coming through. Alright. This is pretty good. It's, I'm gonna say it's a little bit sweet, and all the sweetness is sort of at the front. The first thing you're getting is like a creaminess from the egg white, a bit of that nutmeg, and like a sweetness followed by bourbon, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think it needs something in the back palate. It needs something, maybe something more bitter to sort of lengthen out the flavor journey. My first idea, I think, is to switch out the Nonino for something maybe a little more bitter, a little less sweet. That could maybe change the profile a little bit. I'm not getting a ton of that date flavor either. I'm thinking maybe if I turn up the date syrup and switch out the Nonino for something more bitter, we might get something a little more interesting. The egg white is pretty fun in there, although the second thing I'm thinking is, what if we just made this a flip A flip is a drink with a whole egg in it. Often it'll just be a spirit and a sweetener and an egg. They're often pretty simple drinks that look too sweet on the surface, but when you put that whole egg in there, the richness of the egg counteracts the sweetness. So I think that's two ideas. I think what I might do is, instead of making these right away and trying them because I'll get too drunk to make any sense, I'll probably stop this now, saying this is a pretty good drink, but I need to tweak it with a different amaro, and I will also try a flip version because that might be kind of awesome. So when I return, we'll do that. Okay, I'm back. We're gonna do the exact same recipe, but this time as a flip. We'll do a whole egg, and I think I might turn up the date syrup just a little. Not that it's not too sweet, it's sweet enough, but I want to taste the date a little bit more. So yeah, we'll do that right now. All right, we did it. We made a flip. A couple of minor points. One, it's nice to have bigger coupes like this one, because if you want to make flip, it's like a lot of volume, and you can fit the whole thing in a bigger glass. I'm just saying. So I'd like to also say that it's summer here, and it's the middle of the day. This is not the time to be drinking this nutmeggy flip, although the nutmeg smells amazing. And I love a flip. Third, I want to make this clear. I would never reuse footage because that's just lazy filmmaking, okay? Let's try this out. Yeah, I think that's better. Oh boy, I think that's better as a flip. I mean, it turns it into more of a dessert drink. Flips are typically sweet and they're so rich. You know, it's not something you want to drink all the time. It's almost like having an eggnog or something all the time. But I think this is really good. Okay, so the egg really cuts down the sweetness. It doesn't taste as sweet. It just tastes rich. You know, it tastes thick and luxurious. Still, the main lingering flavor is bourbon. But like an eggy bourbon. I think in this case, I think it's a very, very fine flip. And if you wanted to make this, you know, during the holidays or something, it would be awesome, and it would be a hit. So that's one idea to fix this drink, is just make it a flip. No real changes necessary, unless you turn up the date syrup like I did. You might also experiment with different bourbons. I feel like the lingering bourbon taste is really sort of important in this manifestation. So you try different bourbons and see which one you like best. All right, when I'm back again, we're gonna do the old version with the egg white, but it's going to be with a different amaro because I want to see if I can switch up how that goes. All right. 3 drinks in one show. This is gonna be quite the episode. All right, I'm back. We did the same drink again, but we did this time with Cynar instead of Nonino. This is gonna make it a little bit more bitter, and hopefully give us more of a journey. So let's try it out. Kept the egg white, kept the nutmeg. I mean, that looks great. It's maybe a little darker. Maybe a little darker than the other one. And I think you might have figured out, I decided to call this drink by date. That's pretty good. I think that's really nice. I turned up the date syrup to 1/2 ounce as well. It's just, the date syrup's got this like earthy, rich sweetness. It's a little hard to put your finger on it. It tastes like dates, obviously. I think it goes really well with the Cynar, and overall this just feels a little less sweet. It's probably a similar sweetness, but it tastes a little less over the top. The egg white does help cut it a little bit. So my advice to you, Steven Pervez, is to experiment with different bourbons, experiment with different amari, see what you like best, and definitely try a flip. Now, we've also been fooling around with this date syrup the last couple days. We made a daiquiri, 1.5 ounces of rum, 1 ounce of lime juice, 3/4 date syrup, and 1/2 ounce of Nonino. So sort of in the realm of your drink, but tropical. No egg white, obviously no nutmeg. So a little bit not in the spirit of your drink, so I didn't like include it here as an option. But it is really good. So if you're looking for just something else to do with date syrup, try making a daiquiri and adding some Nonino to it. And man, that was really good. And then we were gonna make another one because the first one was really good, but we ran out of lime juice, so we just did like a rum old-fashioned version with the date syrup and like some fig bitters that I have. Any kind of like dark fruit bitters would do, or walnut bitters, or I don't know, whatever you got. Susan enjoyed that one. She even did a little review.
I'm going to drink it. Oh wow. Oh wow. I think this is really good, Pete. I think using a drier rum makes sense because it's not too sweet, but there's plenty sweetness from the Nonino and the date syrup. But it has all of those date, plummy, figgy flavors. You also use the fig bitters, so, but the Nonino and those flavors seem to go together well. I think this is very interesting. I like it. Thank you for making me a drink. Ah! I misunderstood what you were doing.
So I hope that helped. I hope I fixed it for you. I really enjoy making these videos. They are a lot of work, but if you've got a drink that you're working on, you want me to try and give you an opinion on, I guess, leave it down below. I've got one more lined up, and then I think that's all I've got. So if you enjoy this series, I'll pitch in a drink and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And we'll see you next time.